Imagine standing before an armored door, huge and old, its hinges rusted by time. You pound on it with all the prayers you know, and nothing gives. The lock stays closed. That image is not about failure, it's about method, a mismatch. You have been taught to beg the door to open when what actually opens it is a code spoken at the lock itself. This simple, precise technique I'm about to teach can quickly retune your inner frequency and awaken the third eye, your seat of inner sight, so you no longer beg the world for light. You align with the light already inside. Before we begin, if this message already resonates, type the words, "I activate the third eye" in the comments now. Let that be your small, intentional anchor, a quiet commitment that grounds your attention in the first step of reawakening. Listen. The word miracle has been stretched until it means anything surprising. I want to reframe it for you. A true miracle, in the way we'll use the term, is not an interruption of natural law. It is the restoration of an original operating state. Think of it like a factory reclaiming its blueprint after a long blackout. There is a spark inside you, call it the monad, the inner witness, the seed of sight, that remembers the blueprint. That spark is not foreign. It is your true operating system. It may be covered by noise, smothered by habits, or obscured by systems that train us to rely outwardly, what the old sages called archons, or the demiurge. Not as villains you must curse, but as structural forces of distraction and dependence that teach you to look outward for validation rather than inward for authority. This matters because there are two broad states of consciousness you'll encounter as you practice: the helikoi, the noise-bound, matter-focused mode that lives by scarcity, doubt, and reflex, and the pneumatikoi, the ones who carry the spark, who can orient by inner sight. You do not have to choose between shame or specialness. You simply choose to remember which category your lived experience more closely aligns with, and then run the corrective protocol. If you feel a pull when I say pneumatic, listen closely. You are being called. Now I'll give you the roadmap. The practical work is simple and deliberate. 5 steps, each with a clear aim. Disconnect, descent, resonance, protocol, release. Keep these 5 words in your mind. They are the code sequence. Recognize the inner listener, ground the body, attune the voice and breath, speak the declaration of recognition, plus authority, plus command, then let go. A brief safety note before we move into the active practice. This is a non-clinical, energetic practice. It is not a substitute for medical or psychiatric care. If you are in crisis or taking prescribed medication, continue with professional guidance. The work we do here is experiential and subtle. It can change perception, and that can feel unsettling. If you have concerns afterwards, seek grounded support. This technique tends to shift how you perceive. That's powerful, and it deserves care. Prepare your posture. Sit upright but relaxed. Plant your feet firmly. Unclench your jaw. Let the shoulders drop. If you prefer to stand, take a stable stance. Place one hand over your sternum, over the heart, so you have a physical anchor to return to. Close your eyes if that feels safe. If you're in public or driving, do not close your eyes. Simply lower your gaze and focus on the breath. Step 1. Disconnect. This is not an act of force. You do not fight the mind. You simply turn the attention away from the chatter. Imagine turning a radio dial. No struggle, only a gentle pivot. When thoughts arise, acknowledge them. Not now, and let them pass like clouds. Physically, breathe out a longer exhale than the inhale. The exhale is the signal. Signal off. Do this for 3 cycles. Inhale naturally, exhale longer. Allow the noise to thin. Step 2. Descent. Think of attention as an elevator. Lower it from the overlit rooms of thinking to the comfortable, warm room of the chest. Bring your awareness to the heart center where you placed your hand. Feel the weight and warmth there. Let your breath soften the area. For a moment, imagine a subtle light dimming in the chest, not bright, not dramatic, just a steady, trustworthy glow. You are not discarding thought. You are placing it on standby while you re-establish contact with what sits beneath the mind. Step 3. Resonance. Now cultivate a tone inside you. The body is a resonant chamber. The voice is a carrier wave. Take a slow breath in, and as you exhale, make a low, steady sound. Just a gentle hum, or an ah, that lets your sternum vibrate. Don't strain. Notice how that vibration moves through the chest and up toward the skull. Let your throat be open. You are not performing. You are creating a bridge between the heart's felt presence and the third eye channel above the brow. Repeat twice, feeling the subtle alignment. This is the signature frequency you will use to carry the declaration. It primes the system. Step 4. The protocol. Recognition, authority, command. This is the essential line to speak aloud. Say it with a clear voice, without begging, without apology. The phrase I give you is deliberately concise, so it can be a portable code you use again. Third eye, I remember you. I claim my sovereign sight. Awake now. Speak it out loud once. Let your voice be steady and certain. Don't add qualifiers. Don't plead. Recognition, I remember you, is your acknowledgement. Authority, I claim my sovereign sight, is your ownership of the right to see. Command, awake now, is the instruction to align the inner circuitry. If speaking aloud is impossible in your environment, move the phrase through your inner voice with the same firmness. Important technique notes here. Use a single, clear enunciation. Do not chant the line repeatedly. Say it once and let it be. The declaration is a key turned in a lock, not a hammer. After you speak, place attention back to the chest briefly. Feel whether anything shifts, and then allow awareness to drift upward, toward the space between the brows. You may sense a subtle pressure, a coolness, a faint light, or simply a quieting. Any of these, or none, are lawful outcomes. Do not invent expectations. Step 5. Release. This is the hardest and most crucial part. You release attachment to the outcome. Do not test immediately. Do not start demanding proof. If doubt tries to loom, treat it as interference, an echo from the old system. Say to yourself softly, signal acknowledged, I release. Then return to ordinary breath. Carry on with your day without clinging to sensation. The system works when you treat it like a precision tool, not a needy wish. Over the next hours and days, simply notice. Now, some practical clarifications about what you may experience and why you should not panic if the world tilts. First, interference will happen. After you run the protocol, the system that prefers you small may try to neutralize the line. Expect a short window of doubt or shutdown. This is a sign the signal has passed. Do not take it as failure. Often what looks like defeat is proof the code hit something worth defending. Second, manifestations are often delayed and not always dramatic. There are 3 consistent patterns to watch for over the next minutes, days, and weeks, the 3 feedback signs. The first sign is collapse. This is when old patterns give way suddenly. Relationships fray. A belief collapses. A routine crumbles. It can feel destabilizing, and that is the point. The architecture that depended on your previous blindness has to reorganize. If you encounter collapse, stabilize immediately. Ground with breath, return to the heart center, hydrate, and do not chase dramatic recovery. Let the structure reorganize while you keep your sovereignty. The second sign is echo. These are synchronistic confirmations. Small events, conversations, or symbolic patterns repeating in ways that reflect inner alignment. Echoes are subtle validations. When an echo shows up, journal it. Notice patterns rather than meanings. Echoes confirm that the new frequency is propagating outward into the network of your life. The third sign is neutrality. This is the quietest and the most reassuring for disciplined seekers. Neutrality is absence of affect. It's inner calm that does not need to narrate itself. If this appears, respect it. Do not cling. Continue to practice your presence, because neutrality is the soil in which clear sight grows. A few scenarios you might worry about. If you feel intense physical discomfort, or if you experience anxiety that feels overwhelming, stop the practice and seek appropriate care. This work is subtle. If you have a history of dissociation or severe psychiatric conditions, consult with a professional before experimenting deeply. Again, this is not therapy. It is a technique of inner alignment. A brief note about language and images you may have heard. When teachers speak of the demiurge or archons, they are offering metaphors for forces, social, psychological, or subtle, that teach dependence. Use those metaphors as maps, not dogma. If you draw on Christian imagery in your own reflection, Jesus as an archetype of restoration, Lazarus as the metaphor of awakening, treat them as illustrative stories that point toward the inner reality, not as scientific endorsements of a technique. Let me give you a compact practice you can run in 5 minutes from beginning to end. Sit. Plant your feet. Hand on heart. 3 long exhalations to disconnect. Descent. Let attention lower into the heart. Resonance. 2 gentle hums on the exhale. Then say, with clarity and steadiness, third eye, I remember you. I claim my sovereign sight. Awake now. Place attention back in the heart for a moment, then relax and release. Go about your day. Observe. If you want to anchor the practice into everyday life, choose a small neutral action to pair with it. Pressing your thumb to your palm, or lighting a small tea candle. Something that reminds you to return to the posture and the phrase. This is not magic by ritual alone. It's conditioning. The physical anchor becomes a shorthand for the inner code. You will feel pressure from habitual doubt. The usual responses are obsessing, redoing the protocol over and over, or scolding yourself for not seeing dramatic results. All of these are traps. The right response is patient sovereignty. Note the impulse, let it pass, and continue your life with gentle curiosity. You asked for sight. Sight comes as alignment, not as entertainment. A few practical troubleshooting tips. If you feel nothing immediately, do not assume nothing happened. Many times the recalibration is minute and builds cumulatively. Recheck in 24 to 72 hours for echoes or shifts in choice-making. If you are particularly stuck in material anxious loops, constant fear about money, status, health, use the descent step longer. Spend 5 minutes grounding at the heart before you speak the phrase. The practice is not rigid, it is conditional on your sensitivity. If interference aggressively returns, the mind screaming objections, a sudden desire to prove or disprove, treat it like a noisy neighbor. You do not enter an argument. You close the door, take 3 breaths, and recenter. Repeat the practice in private later if you choose, but avoid punching the lock repeatedly. 1 clean application is more potent than 10 frantic ones. Remember the ethical frame. Do not weaponize this technique. Do not use it to attempt to control or coerce other people. The sovereignty you claim is yours to govern, not a lever for manipulating others. The aim is clarity of vision for you, which then naturally shifts your expression in the world. Before we conclude, I want to make the spiritual architecture practical. Recognition is the first pillar, acknowledging the presence of inner sight. Authority is the second, you claiming your rightful power to perceive. Command is the third, the instruction given without neediness. These 3 together form the frequency protocol that resets the relationship between you and your own perception. Repeat to yourself now, quietly if public, the 3 anchor words: recognition, authority, command. Hold them like a code in your mind. This technique can be learned quickly, but it cannot be unlearned. Once you begin to operate with inner sight, perception shifts. You will notice how habits of attention were arranged around dependence. That is natural and non-judgmental information. Approach it with courage and humility, and be kind with yourself during the reorganizing. If you practiced along with me, Or if you intend to try this within the next day, keep an observational journal. Note any echoes, any collapses, and the moments of neutrality. Over weeks, you will begin to see patterns, small proofs that the line between your heart and your brow is clearing. If this lesson landed and you want to keep going, subscribe for the next deep dive where we unpack advanced resonant practices, safe vocal techniques for deeper carrier wave work, and how to build daily protocols without slipping into obsession. You will find practices that respect the subtlety of this work and help you integrate sight into ordinary life. One final word. Sovereignty is not arrogance, it is recollection. You are not creating something new, you are remembering the shape you were made to inhabit. Use this code with care, speak the declaration with clarity, and then live into the results with steady feet. If you committed at the beginning, leave that comment now. I activate the third eye, and let it be a quiet contract between you and your practice. I'll see you in the next session, where we'll expand what it means to live by inner sight.